All right, welcome back, everybody. Joining us now, and you can catch him on SportsWrap Daily upstairs here. 8 News Now's Darrell Harris talking. Let's see, a lot of NBA stuff. We got the NBA Cup to talk about, the start of the NBA season. All sorts of stuff, Darrell.
Yes, indeed. No, in lieu of having an actual team to cover, we'll have to pay attention to all 30 to see who's worthy of coming here to Las Vegas for the NBA Cup, who's ready for some hoops. We had a great Friday night last night. I was working the NBA blog, so I paid attention to all these games. And let's start with the Bulls, the Chicago Bulls. 5-0. I think you're going to love this. 5-0 for the first time in 30 years. They had a guy named Michael Jordan back then. Right now, they have Josh Giddey, an Australian player. He's going to be an all-star this year. I remember the name. And they took down the New York Knicks 135-125, a healthy Knicks team at that. So that was an impressive win. I'd say they're early contenders to come out of the east side of the NBA Cup because, remember, it's east meets west in the end.
And the Cup is an interesting thing. This in-season tournament, okay, now it's happened 2 years already, and it's going to happen again with the semifinals and finals here in Las Vegas. What do you think, Darrell? Are you happy with what the Cup has done? Do the players like it?
Definitely. I think that, for one, it added a pizzazz to the game last night. You saw the courts are different, so you know it's like a special environment. It's not the regular games, and there is a bit more stakes. Matter of fact, if we head out west, it went right down to the 15 freeway in L.A. The final buzzer of the night had some real fireworks. The Clippers hosting the Pelicans, final seconds. I want you guys to watch the corner if you can. He's wide open. But Kawhi Leonard, he's got his buzzer-beating goggles on. All he saw was the rim bottoms at the buzzer. Clippers survive against a winless Pelicans team, but they gave it their all. Keep your eye on the Clippers. A lot of veterans there. Harden, Chris Paul, Bradley Beal, good coach in Ty Lue. They're legit Cup contenders. However, they share a group with our next team, that being the Lake Show.
I've heard of them.
Yep, there he is right there. They have their new centerpiece back, Luka Doncic. He's off to a historic start, friends. You have to guard him as soon as he crosses half court. This is a Luka that's ready to go. He played all summer with the Slovenian team, so he's already in shape. He registered his third straight 40-plus point game to start the season. Only he and Wilt Chamberlain have done that. And you also can't forget about Austin Reeves. He was scoring 50, hitting game winners while Luka was away. So don't be surprised if the purple and gold are also in the mix for what would be their second NBA Cup. And also want to shout out the Portland Trail Blazers. We wrote them off earlier in this week on SportsWrap Daily because they're in a loaded group. Rockets, Warriors, Thunder, and the Nuggets. But they beat Denver last night. That game went down to the buzzer practically as well. And all of this while their head coach is under federal investigation. They have an acting coach, Tiago Splitter, former Spurs player, filling in for Chauncey Billups. But the team still blocked out the noise, and they said, hey, don't write us off.
Impressive.
No, it's fun. Okay, Portland, that had to shock them with what happened with Chauncey Billups, and we find out the FBI investigating them, and he was involved allegedly in these fixed poker games.
Yeah.
So, but Portland, good point that they made the comeback in spite of losing Chauncey Billups, NBA Hall of Famer, as their coach.
Right.
The new guy.
No, that team hasn't missed a beat. The players are going to be dialed in because there is a championship at the end. We saw in year one, it was Lakers-Pacers. The Pacers were in the finals soon thereafter. Year two, it was Bucks and the Rockets. The Rockets beat the Thunder to get there. Those are your top teams in the West, and the Thunder went all the way. So these teams matter. These games are legit. They're competitive, and it shows us who the real contenders are.
What do you think of the courts? I'm not a fan of the courts.
Why not, Ron?
I know they look different. Okay? Because they look so different, and you sometimes have to adjust the TV set on those things.
Well, I think you have to create a new environment when there is an in-season tournament like this.
Right. And
it's a reminder, yeah. And also what's cool is, say there's a tiebreaker, all of the games leading up to the end will matter because the tiebreaker is decided by a point differential.
But who has the ugliest court is going to lose. That's what I want for the tiebreaker to be.
No, and then when they get to Vegas, there's a custom Vegas court, so we won't have to see any other team's emblems on the court. It'll be all Las Vegas on the court. And, well, you know, we've been there the last couple of years. This year it is a finish line during the season that, you know, keeps everything in perspective. So
Okay, I've got a WNBA question. Can we jump
Let's
into
do that. Let's do
I'm glad
that.
you answered one question, why Luka looks thinner this year, because he was playing in this Eastern European League. Okay, so he's lost a little weight. And no LeBron there because of a sciatic nerve issue that he's got. So, WNBA collective bargaining agreement was set for Friday, but they've extended that now. What's going to happen there? Because they technically didn't have a contract as of Friday. No contract with the WNBA. What's the latest?
Yeah, for now, disaster and trouble averted. If a lockout were to take place, then players could be locked out of team facilities. They could be, the communication between the team and the players would have to be regulated, essentially. But that's not happening. They're allowed to still communicate and interact freely, and hopefully that aids a deal getting done right now, a 30-day extension, because keep in mind, in December, they have expansion drafts planned for 2 new teams, the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire, that are supposed to play next year. So if this deal doesn't get done in this current 30 days, then the WNBA really has to figure things out, because they got to get expansion drafts done. They have to get free agency done before their own regular draft. So this is really their last grace period before next season is directly impacted if they can't get a deal done. And we'll see. You know, the players want a little more money. I think Asia Wilson's worth $1 million. I can't tell you that 15 players in the WNBA are. Asia Wilson, cut the check.
Well, and hopefully as the league continues to grow, the revenue continues to grow, but the players want to make a statement that they are the heart and soul of this, and they deserve to be paid, as they should. But it's going to take time. The NBA has been around for decades and decades, and the WNBA is trying to match that and get to that level, but it's going to take time. There are going to be growing pains, but of course, you know, Asia Wilson should be getting paid. She should be getting her bag, as well as a handful of other players.
And the college athletes coming out. They're some of the better players that the game has seen in the women's side. So the current players know that right now there's more at stake than just them. They're thinking about the future of this league and keeping it growing. If it's got the best talent in the world, how come they leave and sometimes get paid more elsewhere? That's what they're asking. So those are good questions, and we're hoping that this gets done so that way we can worry about another repeat, possibly, for Las Vegas Lakers. Let's talk about that instead.
Go to LeBron James and ask him to take a 5% pay cut, and that could pay all the WNBA players. I want to be there when that conversation happens.
That's a hot take, Ron.
I don't think LeBron would go for that, but and they are being subsidized by the NBA, the WNBA, you know, to be able to survive at this point. So
they've all got to come to the table, if you ask me. And all of the other sports unions came out this week in support of the WNBA players, which does speak to what the players and the current athletes across the country think should happen. So they're supporting the WNBA players, telling them to keep going, and that's what they're doing.
All right, Darrell, thank you for joining us here.
My pleasure.
More Sports Wrap for you right after this.